Good day, Bermuda. I'm Jamila Lodge of the Bermuda Economic Development Corporation, and this is Mind Your Business, the show that brings you the latest information about starting and running a local business in Bermuda. Join us as we discuss the local business issues that are important to you. Today with me, I have Naeem, Alome, who is the program coordinator for the Summer Student Entrepreneurship Program for BEDC. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. Before we get started into all the hard questions, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I have recently married a Bermudian and been in Bermuda for about coming up to 2 years now.
Okay.
I absolutely love it here, and I definitely see my future, the rest of my future in Bermuda, and I'll see if the island can get rid of me.
Okay. No, you join me. Join me. But we're here to talk a little bit about the Summer Student Entrepreneurship Program. How did you get involved with that?
Oh, initially I volunteered some of my time, so I was applying for roles, and I volunteered some of my time at the BEDC. Mm-hmm. And there was a program that the BEDC had already come up with, but due to I think there was a lot of reasons. It could have been funding, time, for resources. It actually just got put on the back burner. Mm-hmm. And having someone to volunteer, this was brought back to light, and we revised the program and then got feedback from the BEDC team, and then it got brought back to life, and now is running. Okay.
Can you tell me what it is exactly?
Okay, so the Summer Student Entrepreneurial Program, it was developed, and aim was to fill the gap left the change in Bermuda's economy,
right?
Where students were finishing high school and college and was unable or finding it hard and difficult to get summer employment. Mm-hmm. So this was put in place to fill that gap.
Okay.
And then through the Summer Student Entrepreneurial Program, we were trying to get young Bermudians to shift from working for someone else to actually working for themselves,
right? And
to run a business and earn their own money.
Okay, so that sounds simple enough, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not. So can you tell me or share with me kind of what went into the planning of that? What went on behind the scenes?
So behind the scenes, initially it was dusting off the proposal,
right?
Getting working it, and then, like I said, getting all the feedback from the BEDC team. Mm-hmm. The feedback was amazing, and it was incorporated into the new proposal. Mm-hmm. That then was put through to government for them to review, and we were hoping it would be approved.
Okay.
And including working out a realistic budget for the program. And yeah, we went through the government. We had a lot of support from a lot of ministers, and I'm very grateful for it, as much as the students are, that it got approved.
Okay.
And then we initially started the program. So we sent it out, publicized for it to get as many applicants as we could.
So it was the application process. It wasn't like, come on,
no,
you all can be entrepreneurs.
Because we initially, like I said, a realistic budget was to say, okay, you know what, let's see if we can start off with 10 students. Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure that you have given them enough seed money for them to actually finance their business.
Okay.
And 10 seemed like a realistic number for us. So we opened up as an application process, and then we chose the top 10 business ideas that we thought were feasible.
To get done within a period of time. So tell me, just lay it out for me in layman terms. Like, what is the premise of the program? What are we trying to achieve besides creating new entrepreneurs?
So we are we're trying to remove all the barriers and give young Bermudians the opportunity. So a lot of people have had ideas,
right?
But it could be down to something as simple as, oh, I don't have the financing, mm-hmm. I don't have support, I don't have motivation. There's a lot of these key words that people do not have. Mm-hmm. And for you to say, okay, look, there is an opportunity for this idea that you have for us to fund it,
right.
And actually turn your business idea into reality, I think that was one of the main things we were trying to get out there for those ideas to actually be put into reality and see, okay, how this can impact the students and Bermuda as a whole.
Okay, so what did BEDC do to support the students and get them ready for this entrepreneurial journey?
Okay, so initially we did a week of interactive workshops and training.
Okay.
So and it was very interesting. Initially, students came in and they were fed a lot of knowledge that they needed to know. So similar to it was basically studying.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, we would go around with the classroom and see what they understood from the information. So it's not the typical, okay, you go into your classroom, the lecturer gives you some material, you listen to it and you go away. No,
right.
We actually listened to all the material, and then individually we would go around to the students and say, okay, how is this related to your business?
Right.
How can you incorporate it?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're given a short amount of time, because what's the time frame that they had to work within?
So the program did come out a bit later than we anticipated.
Okay.
So so the students had didn't have as much time as I would have liked.
Okay.
So they just initially they got all the information.
Right.
We had these interactive workshops, so where they would actually, for example, we would have them stand in front of the class, and we would have one person being the buyer and one person being the seller. So we had loads of laughs, but there was a lot of good feedback from the other students, and it's a bit different. It's like if a teacher comes to you and says, oh, you're not doing your work so well, you just don't like me. But when it was the students, their colleagues, you could say, their peers, they came to them and said, okay, you're putting on a fake personality.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. There was loads of laughs, but a lot of feedback students actually took and they've incorporated it into them and their business.
Okay. So how long did the students have to actually operate their businesses?
So it's an 8-week program.
Okay.
And of that 8 weeks, they had 6 weeks to actually be out there in the market to actually sell their products or services. Okay.
What kind of businesses entered or applied, I should say?
We had a whole range of applications.
Okay.
Like I said, we got it down to 10 students, and in those 10 students, we have all sorts of business ideas. So we have 2 students doing natural skincare and hair care products.
Okay.
We have a young lady doing a natural gemstone jewelry. We have a young man he actually created and built his own, his own Bermuda Bluebird box.
Oh, in 8 weeks?
He had the idea beforehand.
Okay.
And it's the same thing going back to, okay, I have the idea.
But how do I actually get it implemented, and what tools do I need to actually get it done? Okay.
Do I know how to?
Right.
I'm a bit scared, or I don't have the money. So having all of that given to them and helping them gave him the option to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to snap up this opportunity and put my idea into reality.
That's awesome. So you're making it sound easy. Let me say that, and fun and all of that. But I know that there's a lot of work that goes into it, especially you have 10 different personalities, 10 different ideas floating around, with the exception of the 2 skincare.
Yes.
I would think that a lot of the ideas were very varied. So what were some of the challenges that you encountered running the program?
I would say the biggest challenge that I encountered was giving the students enough time. Each student enough time. So this
You mean like one-on-one support?
Yeah, well, the time could be whether it's support, mentorship, picking up a student because their car broke down on the way to work.
Right.
Which I've done.
Right.
And it varies. Every student is different as an individual. Some students need more support and more mentorship, and some needed less.
Right.
And it's getting that right balance and ensuring that all students have been given that support.
Okay. So it sounds to me like you're saying you need more than just a team of one to actually get it done. Now, this is a pilot, right? So the intent is that this is going to be something that's going to continue, you think, for BEDC? I mean, it sounds awesome. So
I think it's an amazing program, and I would suggest it continue year on year.
Yeah.
The opportunity is amazing. And for the students to be given that opportunity where they can run with a business idea, rather than just having an idea and maybe pitching it,
right,
and then winning some sort of prize for that.
Hey, hold on now. We do that too.
Yeah. No, which is good, because that could be something that they did previously.
Yeah.
And now
this is like the next step. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times when we hold the competitions, we try to encourage people any way that we can. So I do feel like this is like a next level, even though we're working with younger people, because it is more hands-on.
Yeah.
So it is, I think this program is the result of feedback that we have gotten over the years from people who participated in those various competitions, and they're like, well, what next? Like, I won it, but I need help.
Yes, yeah.
And so this, the Summer Student Entrepreneurship Program is like a real intensive kind of hands-on.
Well, that is exactly what I was told initially when I was given the proposal to revise. It was the BEDC came up with this idea from feedback from the other programs that they run, and it's feedback is key, and for them to actually come up with something else, like you said, the next step,
right,
or the final step, you could say,
right,
was an amazing idea in itself.
You know what? I could talk to you like the whole show about this, but we are going to get a chance to talk to one of the summer students. But before we do that, I know you're the program coordinator, but who else helped you to try and get this done and get all these students where they needed to be successful?
I have the whole BEDC team have helped. Everyone has their skills and expertise, and I've had feedback from everyone, going from the top, from the executive director, Rika, and then Ray Lambert, yourself, Nadia, our PR woman. I've had help from everyone.
Any external help?
So the external help was the different government departments, having the support from a few of the ministers already that approved on the paper when it went through cabinet. We did reach out to some of the government departments in order to get the students business locations, such as a few of the students doing the skincare products or dealing with food. We didn't want to say, okay, this is the program we're doing and we're trying to bypass the system. No, that's not the way to teach someone how to do business anyway.
So which departments did you have a chance to interact with?
The Department of Health was a great help. They invited us in with the students that would have needed to have a health certificate.
Okay.
We went in, we had a meeting, they presented all the rules and standards for health and safety. After the students took the knowledge in, they incorporated it into their business and applied. Okay. And at no cost for the 6 weeks they were working.
That's awesome. So I think what I hear you saying is that even though it's initiative that was started by BEDC, there was a lot of support from the different government departments and ministries, and that's really great. We're gonna wrap up, and we'll get a chance to talk a little bit more with one of the students who are participating. So thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Take care, Naeem. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with Mind Your Business.
How do you get inspired? Join BEDC on Mind Your Business to find out how entrepreneurs get inspired to start up their businesses, whether online or brick and mortar. Be part of the startup movement that can help you to start up the next great business idea. Tune in weekly to Mind Your Business, because if you don't, who will?
Welcome back to Mind Your Business. I'm your host, Jamila Lodge, and I'm so excited because in the studio we have with us Kalair Stevens, who is a participant in the Summer Student Entrepreneurship Program. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So before I get started, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So of course, my name is Kalair. I'm 19 years old. I've been out of high school for a little over a year. I'm really into poetry and nature and, of course, creating jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you participated in the Summer Student Entrepreneurship Program, you were already making jewelry?
Yeah, I was playing around with the idea and things like that. I had a bit of a customer base.
Okay.
I was making different things and just really, it was just like the beginning of it, really, you know, just really playing around with it and seeing how people took to it and things like that.
Okay. So how did you find out about the program?
I found out about the program really through social media.
Okay.
You know, social media tells you everything.
Okay,
So, yeah, my friend actually forwarded it to me on Instagram.
Okay.
And so that's how I initially found out about it.
And so when you saw that, what were you thinking? Were you like, yes, this is for me? Or was there any nervousness associated with your decision?
I was like, yeah, well, this is definitely for me, but I was definitely nervous about it. It took like 4 people to tell me to apply for me to do it.
Really?
Because, yeah, it's like I knew it was for me, but at the same time, I kind of had like a little job that I was doing at the time and it kind of just seemed out of reach. So I was looking at it like, this is an awesome opportunity, but
Right.
I just didn't feel like it was like feasible for me. But after the consistent people insisting on me doing it,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, maybe this is a
Good.
sign. Yeah.
So now that you have participated in it and your experience, how's it been? You've been able to...
Awesome.
Really?
It's scary now when I think about the fact that I could have maybe not applied.
Right.
It kind of like scares me because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what it would have been if I didn't apply, because it's been such an amazing opportunity for me.
Oh, that is so good. Now, before we spoke with Naeem, who's the program coordinator, how was it working with him and the team? He was saying, you know, it was great, and the
Yeah.
students were that, and I'm like, I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, no, he's been extremely supportive on all levels, just, you know, advice, physically coming there and being there with us and checking on us and helping us put up tents and anything like that. Sometimes, you know, we'll be by ourselves. Not everyone has someone to help them. So he was just always readily available at any time to just bounce ideas off of him and for him to give us his advice. So he's been very, very helpful.
That's good to hear. Yeah. That's good to hear. So you make your own jewelry.
Yes.
What made you decide jewelry over something else?
Well, I'm really into jewelry. I really like accessories and things like that. I was looking for jewelry that I wanted to wear specifically that had symbolic meaning. I was told that you shouldn't just have anything on your body, you know, like you should know what you have on your body, you should know what it means, especially different symbols and things like that. So I thought, you know, since I'm already into that type of stuff, you know, let me look for something like that. And that's kind of like, you know, how I came across it. I couldn't find anything that spoke to me, so I thought, well, why wouldn't I make it for myself then if I can't find it?
And have you found through this process that there are others that share your same sentiment?
Yeah, I definitely think so. A lot of people, I was so surprised at the amount of people into gemstone jewelry specifically, because I feel like, you know, it's not something that, you know, crystals and gemstones aren't really something that's mainstream like that. It's definitely getting more like showtime and people are becoming more interested in and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely people are, you know, like I said, becoming into it and stuff like that.
And it's interesting because a lot of times you're like, okay, jewelry, another jeweler. And so you wonder what is going to set you apart from everybody else. And it sounds like you found your niche, right? Because why can't you wear something that's pretty and makes you feel good too?
Exactly.
Okay. So in the program, like, where did you get a chance to set up? How did you sell your stuff? Where and how did that work?
So initially I chose Dockyard. I felt like it would be the best place for me and my business, and I felt like Dockyard already has that kind of creative and artistic vibe with the other shops around it, so I felt like that would be a good environment for me to set up. So I set up in Dockyard. I would catch the ferry in the morning to Dockyard with all my supplies and set up there. Just a bit outside of Snorkel Park, and Naeem would come sometimes and help set up, and yeah.
That was a good location? Have you been anywhere else?
Yes, of course we do Harbor Nights on Wednesdays, but other than that, I actually had to switch from Dockyard because, you know, as an entrepreneur, it's about learning, and I realized that quickly that Dockyard actually wasn't the best place for me, just because of, you know, I feel the vibe down there. It's, you know, Dockyard's more of, you have Snorkel Park and people want to go swimming and it's more relaxed. I feel like it's not really the
the right space
right for my business specifically.
And it's funny because sometimes you only know that until you've actually done it.
Right. I couldn't have found that out unless I set up there. So it was a learning experience. And so I had to sit down and think, okay, where do I think will be another good place for me?
Right.
What's feasible for me? And so I moved to St. George's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's been going well?
Yes, it was better down there. Yeah.
Wonderful. So outside of that, the space, what have been some of the other challenges that you've experienced as you've gone through this process?
You know, before I was in the program, you know, it's just, I'm working on my own time. And so it's really relaxed and things like that. But when you're working on, you know, I'm still working on my own time, but I have, you know, something behind me. I'm in a program, I have deadlines and things like that. So you really have to stay focused. And, you know, that's not hard when you're passionate about what you're doing. But yeah, some of the challenges have been just, you know, not to say it's hard to stay focused or anything like that, but you have to really be like, okay, this is my business. If I don't get up and do it, nothing's gonna happen.
That's
so
right. You
know,
got it,
you
girl.
have to.
I say, if you don't mind your business, who will? That's what I tell them.
Exactly.
But so through this program, is it something that you think you would continue?
Absolutely, like it's no doubt, it's not a question. This is definitely something I'm gonna continue. Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of it, really. You know what I mean? And so are you doing, you going through the summer entrepreneurship program as well as still working somewhere else, or are you focusing, you're going to focus more on?
Yeah, I'm focusing definitely just strictly on this. I feel as an entrepreneur, if you really want to, you have to give 100% to your ideas and your dreams and things like that. And if you don't give 100%, then, you know, your business has to be your full-time job. So, yeah.
I hear you. You tell them, girl. So what do you see for the future of She Venus?
So right now, I want to just establish a strong foundation in Bermuda. You know, I'm Bermudian. I want to have, this is my base. I want to start here, but I do want to branch out and, you know, grow internationally. I actually want to have a physical location, branches and stuff at some point. But my next step is definitely to take it internationally with a website because, you know, harbor nights and things like that, the tourists really, really enjoyed it and things like that. So I want to be able to cater to them as well, and not that you have to come to Bermuda to get She Venus, you know? So I want to definitely be able to cater to everyone and just grow.
And it's possible. I mean, we've worked with Alexandra Mosher, you know, she does a peak sand jewelry, and she's been, I remember when she was selling, I bought one of my favorite pair of earrings from her at Rock Island. So she started off very similar, you know, vending, harbor nights. So I'm saying that to say it is possible, you know what I mean? Especially if you have a product that people want. And I think, is that one of your pieces on your, oh, it's beautiful.
So this is rose quartz and pearl.
Okay.
I made this yesterday.
And what, because you were talking about the symbolism behind it. So what is?
So rose quartz, I say on my Instagram, like if She Venus was a crystal, it would be rose quartz. So rose quartz is all about femininity, getting in touch with your feelings, creativity, art, music, love, self-love, attracting love. And then I have the pearls at the end, and that also has to do with intuition, getting in touch with your feelings, femininity and things like that. So I think it definitely symbolizes my business. So I love it. Yeah.
Okay. So see, it's that kind of thing that takes it to the next level, right? And then so I just was introduced to crystals through my sister-in-law over the summer. And so I'm like, okay, how fitting that now I get a chance to talk to you and you're reinforcing what she was saying. So girl, we all need a little crystal.
Yeah,
in our
definitely.
life.
It's a crystal for everybody.
Right. So I'm really excited that you're continuing to pursue your entrepreneurial goals. And this is the pilot program that you're participating in. And so we would love at BEDC to see other students, other young people participate in the program. What was it like working with the other students?
It was really amazing because, you know, being young, you might think that you're the only one with like trying to do something like this, but it's amazing because I've met 9 awesome the other applicants, and we got to collaborate and mingle, and you know, we formed friendships and bonds that we know that are gonna like go way further than this program. So it's just really awesome to be around like-minded people with the same morals and that are determined and things like that at such a young age. So it's really, really like empowering, and it feels good.
That is awesome to hear. Look, I'm getting all warm and fuzzy inside. And I'm hoping that people who are watching feel the same way, because it just goes to show, if given the tools, right? You didn't think you could do it initially. But then, you know, thankfully,
Yeah.
we got to talk to whoever those 4 people were. They were like, no, you need to do it. Kudos to them. Yeah. What would you want to say to someone? I know what I would like to say to someone who's like, I don't know, I can't do it. But what would you say to someone?
I feel like we're all born with talents and things like that. And so I would tell anybody that is kind of playing around with an idea of anything to do it, you know? People would tell you that maybe it's unrealistic or you can't do it, or like, how are you going to do that? But you can't listen to that because, you know, you really have to follow your heart. If you know, everyone has to start somewhere, you know? So I definitely think just go with your first mind, do what feels good, do what your heart's telling you to do, and just go after it. Don't listen to other people. It's not their lives. It's yours.
Yeah. Those girl, you you giving some good advice around here. We have a separate show, but I think that those are some wise words, you know. And I think that if people listen to them, me and others included, you can go far, you know. What I will say is that perhaps not everyone who participated in the program is going to continue on, but do you feel that the lessons that you learn can be applied to other areas or other parts of your life to help you be successful in terms of how you plan, consider, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Organization, this has definitely like taught me to be organized, not just for my business, but like definitely for myself. So I think that, you know, your business teaches you learn things for your business, but it's teaching you stuff about your own personality and things like that. And I feel like it's produced a lot of growth in me. So I know what we're all going to take a lot of things away and just apply it to our everyday life and things like that. So yeah.
So we're winning on both ends, right?
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. It has been a pleasure to meet you.
Thank
I
you.
wish you all the best and much success. And you know, after at the conclusion of the summer student entrepreneurship program, BEDC offers support and guidance. So as you look to continue and to grow your business, we are here to help you do that. I'm gonna have to cop one of those little bracelets because I need light and love in my life. But it's been awesome to meet you.
Thank you for
I
having
think
me.
you are a wonderful example of the future of Bermuda. So onward and upward.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us today on Mind Your Business. If you have questions, contact the BEDC at 292-5570 or email us at info@bedc.bm. And remember, if you don't mind your business, who will? I'm Jamila Lodge, and thanks for joining us.